All right, here we go. Oh, I'm actually a little bit early this time, probably 30 seconds or so. So Hendo's not going to be long. The goal is to start basically at the same time and not have to edit it, because editing is a real pain in the ass, especially video. But we don't always get there. So this week, this is actually a really big week. This just crept up on us. I kind of didn't think we had a lot, but we've got 9 different topics in the list to talk about. The biggest one is the Stomping Ground Sale to good drinks, because that's a really pivotal sale in the craft beer industry. So that's obviously a big thing to talk about. But we've got heaps going on. And we've got a whole bunch of questions. We had one topic suggested by one of the group members. And so, yeah, it's going to be a big episode. Sponsorship. I've got a sponsored beer as well, but it's like 9%. So I'm not going to be touching that. I've got a Black Ops East Coast Haze, which is not a sponsored beer, but it's still free for me. And Hendo, maybe, I don't know. I assume Hendo's got his hands on that sweet sponsored brew as well, but I don't know how keen he is going to be to open the show with a 9% beer. So we'll see how we go. I'm going to have it. I'm just going to wait till later on in the episode. All right, here's the boss man coming in now. Here he comes.
Oh,
whoa! There we go. You got that dark dungeon thing going again.
Can't see.
Nice. You do that. What's your setup there? You got a light in front of the.
Yeah, I've got a ring light there.
You got a ring light and you've got an external cam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
I can't see.
Oh, you can't see.
I've put on the wrong glasses, and
oh wow, you actually can't see.
Yeah.
All right. Hendo's left. I'm gonna send this live right now.
I'm right here.
You're right there.
Got Bluetooth headphones. Even if I leave the room, I can hear you. I don't have a drink.
Oh, that's cool. How do they last long enough?
Yeah, they last a few hours. Yeah.
Man, I've got the original AirPods. Are so old. They last probably, I would say, 20 minutes now.
I've got the Jaybird X3s. I think they are getting a bit long in the tooth. I've had them for 4 years now, and starting to wear out. I couldn't do AirPods. I'd fucking lose them.
I love these things. I've had them since they first came out, and everyone thought they were the most ridiculous things. I use them literally multiple times a day.
Yeah.
They're the best, except after this many years, however long it's been, they're starting to go to shit. Are we going to go in the group? Go a little livey?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Remembered last time when I do this, I need to fill in a few things. Like, let me do this properly so we actually put the episode number instead of Kings.
When you win it, that's what you did when you went on the field trip. It was like Kings.
Yeah. Whoops.
You could do something like, "Hey, come and chat with us."
I put Batby 45. I put the title.
What episode are we up to?
45. Wait, I think it's 45.
Really?
Yeah, 45. Isn't that amazing? Come, how have you been, mate? You got a beer?
No, I don't have a beer.
What the hell?
I'm out of beer. I'm actually out of beer right now.
I've got sponsored. You didn't get sponsored beer?
What sponsored beer?
Well, that'll be coming up in the future. I don't have it right now, but I do. I was delivered sponsored beer.
Oh no, I didn't get any sponsored beer.
Interesting.
No one knocked on my door today at all. I've got red wine and I've got Jack Daniels.
Oh, there we go.
Let's ask the Facebook group. Red wine or Jack Daniels?
I've currently got a East Coast Haze, but that's not a sponsored beer. But I do have the sponsored beer in there ready to go. But I'm a bit nervous to get too stuck into it. Hey, let me get a photo of you with your sponsored. Have you got a beverage right now?
No, I don't. No.
Okay. All right. Well, when the 12 decides what you should have, then we're going to get a photo, because I keep forgetting to get photos of the episodes, and we need them for the post.
Yeah. Let me ask them. There we go.
All right.
Let's see what happens.
We've got a hell of a lot on this list. I've even added more to it.
It's been a
since
big
I sent it to
week.
you. Massive.
It's been a big week. Holy moly.
Did you want
What
to
a
kick off with
crazy week.
discussion about your first car that may or may not have been a Suzuki Mighty Boy?
Well, so there was a funny post. I enjoyed that when you put that up today, because I was like, man, my first car was nearly a Suzuki Mighty Boy. You know what 3 options were on the cards for me? My first
A
car?
Ford Capri, a Suzuki Mighty Boy, and a Suzuki Sierra.
No.
Okay.
It was the Suzuki Mighty Boy, a Ford Escort panel van.
Wow, that's sick.
And it's sick now.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't get it. And the 1974 Mini Clubman. And I wound up with the Mini Clubman. Fuck, I love that car. I loved that car. And I got it from this bloke. I literally bought it from a guy from around the corner from your house, the Danshan.
Oh, really? When was this? What year are we talking?
Probably talking 1991.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
no,
I think I bought it.
You're not that much older than me, are you, Hendo?
Yeah, about 10 years older than you.
No, really. So 91. So you got your first car pretty young.
I was 17. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's it. That's boss.
Yeah, but I moved to
cool kids
Brisbane.
had cars when they were 17.
Oh no! So basically, I finished my first year of university, so it would have been the end of 1991, and I got a summer job at the end of my first year of university at Dreamworld.
Yeah.
And I was working at the fish and chip shop down at the water slides there.
Yeah, yeah.
And did that for the summer. Got fired, but had enough money for a car, so it was cool.
How much you pay for the Clubman?
$1,100.
No.
Yeah.
How much you sell?
That's a lot. That was a lot of money. What did I do? Oh, I traded in the Mini for VB Holden Commodore, VC Holden Commodore.
Okay. Well, all of those are probably worth a fair bit of money now.
Oh, bloody oath, man. But the Mini was great. My brother and my father living up in Bigger Waters, around the corner from Black Ops 2.
Nice.
And drove down to Nobby's to go pick up the Mini. And so I go down with my dad and my brother. And we got there. We met the guy. We saw the car. My dad and my brother jump in the car and test drive it, leave me with the owner. They fuck off for 20 minutes. Come back around the corner 20 minutes later, drive home, get out of the car and say, yeah, the boy will take it.
Amazing.
I didn't have to say that. It was like, that's wound up being my car. There you go.
Actually, my first car story is not too dissimilar to that, in that I felt like the decision was taken out of my hands a little bit, but it wasn't directly. It was more like just general pressure. But wait, you need to guess what my first car was first.
Oh, your first car, I'm going to say it would be a Hyundai XL.
Oh, that's funny. That was my brother's first car.
Okay.
And that would have been a good choice. It was the first one before the bubbly one. It was
yes.
Not a lot of people know about the first like square one, because the bubbly one was like the big one.
They sold heaps,
shitloads. That would have been a sensible choice. But it's funny that you mentioned the first car thing, because I actually, on Monday, I went to Sanctuary Cove and I saw the car that I wanted to get as my first car. So when I went to university, my dad had signed up for a thing where I got a $5,000 thing if I got into university. So I got in and I was given $5,000 and I had to spend that on a car. And he'd signed up years ago and like they had been putting like $20 away a week or whatever. And I wanted to get a car that was loud and obnoxious and stupid, like an old, an old classic. But he was like, go to these auctions because this is where you get good deals on cars. So I went to the auctions at in Brizzy there, wherever where is it, near Pinkenbar or whatever, where the racetracks and all that is.
Near the airport, yeah.
Near the airport. And I went like every week I'd go and I don't know, I only had $5,000. And one week I went there and there was an Alfa Romeo GTV there. And the guy got in it and drove it past me and it was so obnoxiously loud. And it was cheap because no one wanted that car. It was like, this was like 2001 and it's like a late 80s car. No one wanted one. I saw one yesterday at Sanctuary Cove. But my guess is now they're worth an absolute shitload because they're a sick car. Anyway, I bought a Toyota Corolla, front wheel drive.
Why didn't you get the Alpha?
I don't know. I felt the pressure of my old man.
Was it
to
an
make a good
obnoxiously
decision.
loud Toyota Corolla?
Eventually, it was, because what happened was it was nice and calm when I first bought it. Then I went to the exhaust shop, put a 2.25-inch exhaust on it to make it loud,
Nice.
and I got rims for it. So that was as soon as I bought it.
Okay.
And then eventually, I blew up the engine doing reverse donuts in the park at Sanford, and I sold it to a guy who put a 20-valve engine in it and made it fast as fuck. And I bought a Celica and put a different engine in that and made that fast. So I eventually got the old school obnoxious loud car,
Yeah.
but I had to go through the process of getting the.
So you got to work your way up to that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Man, I used to do some dumb shit with my Mini A. Like I lived on campus at Griffith University at Macrobat campus and studied over at the Nathan campus.
Oh yeah.
And just driving around. And my car got put inside the dining room at Res.
Oh wow. So
Go down to breakfast.
That's just
literally
a
walked
normal Mini,
walked
right?
into the yeah. I walked into breakfast, and there's my fucking car in the fucking dining room.
So someone just put it in there.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Amazing.
I think it was my mates in the corridor. They come home from Mary Street nightclub. They were probably pretty fucking trashed.
Mary Street is
and they go and my car, you could just pop the quarter glass open, put your hand in and unlock it and get in it and that sort of thing. And
start it or just roll it?
No, you could. The handbrake the brakes didn't fucking work, let alone the handbrake. They picked it up and moved it. Whenever they had to steer it, they would just lift it up and turn it in the direction it wanted it to go.
Nice.
So, it's just so fun. Oh, Rez,
That's
cool.
cool.
It was so funny.
My when I blew up the Corolla, my kids are here. Hopefully they're not listening to this. Don't try this at home, kids. No, they got AirPods in. It doesn't matter. When I blew up the Corolla, it still worked in reverse. So I reversed it all the way from the park to my house in Sanford, which was about 3 kilometers away. And I reversed it back all the way home and it was working fine, but it wouldn't go into forward. And then when I left it overnight, it wouldn't start and nothing would work and the engine had seized up. And I knew the tow truck driver because all my friends were into cars and he was constantly towing us because all the cars would break down all the time. And he's like, oh, it's probably, if it seized, we might be able to like restart it by towing it behind the tow truck and then like putting it into gear and dropping the clutch and it might just like push it back into action. So we were like driving up and down Sanford, like trying to drop this gear to push this car back into action and it didn't work. So I ended up selling it without an engine. But yeah.
Wow.
That was Sanford.
Those cars are great.
2000s.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I need to get a drink.
Red wine. I had one vote and I said
someone said red.
So, yeah.
You said 100%. Lee McAllister Smiley says Jack Daniels. Oh, geez, it's fucking
why
red.
Did you listen to Lee McAllister Smiley? Look at this silly comment. Geez, Hendo, that car story reminds me of a lion a mate said he stole. Wait, a time a mate said he stole a baby lion.
Yeah. No, that story.
I don't know that story, and I don't want to know that story. All right, we've lost Hendo. What aren't you supposed to? This is a shit show. You're supposed to come with a drink, Hendo. We're not going to sit here and wait for you to get a drink. I'm gonna have to get into the news because there's so much news. All right.
Yeah, start the bloody news.
You can hear me. Right. So number one, Hendo.
What do you got?
News came out on when was this? Monday. That Stomping Ground, who are very, very well known in the industry, had sold. Oh no, actually, was it Monday? It was. I think the details came out on Monday, but
yeah.
So the first post came out a couple of days before that. Stomping Ground had sold. It might have been on the weekend. And then there was an AFR article with some details in there. And then there was another Brews News article with more details in there. And it's nice because you don't just get and assuming all of these details are right, then you don't just get the high level, this is the massive amount sold for, you get the details of how the deal worked, which all of this is really good information for anyone in the industry. And it's big news.
Mm.
What are your thoughts?
Do you want to get a photo of me drinking my red wine?
Yes. Yes. Nice. That's a Dainton Red Eye Rye.
It's just cheap shit cask wine anyway.
Oh, God. Well, you love your cheap booze, don't you, mate?
Yeah. That's why I became a brewer. That's why my father. That's how I got into home brewing. Was my father was a home brewer, and the only and my first memory of my father home brewing was living in an old Queenslander at the Canungra Army Base, and bottles exploding under the house under my bedroom when I'm like 4 years old at like 5 or 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and that sort of thing. My father was a fucking pisshead, and the only reason why he took up home brewing, I could say this now because he's dead. So the really reason why he started home brewing was he just wanted cheap piss.
Well, that's the only reason anyone starts home brewing, isn't it?
Maybe it's in the genetics.
Yeah, that's the reason I started home brewing, but I gave up quickly when I realized I didn't want cheap piss because it was disgusting.
But the thing is, though, is I don't mind treating myself to the right things at the right time. Swansea Day, for instance, we're going to talk about that shortly.
We're going to talk about that. All right, well, call to action for anyone listening to the podcast. Please send a sponsored drink to Hendo because he's struggling over there in St. Lucia.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I missed the Flano thing. We'll have to come back to that. But let me know your thoughts on the Stomping Ground Sale.
I was quite surprised. I didn't see that one coming, and I was. It doesn't, when you think about it, it doesn't seem particularly surprising because Stomping Ground have 1, 2, 3 breweries, right?
Well, yeah, but the one, including the airport one?
And the airport, yeah.
Right, yeah.
And where you can go and pay $16 for a fucking pint.
Dude, that place is great. I always go there.
Do you? I go
100%.
into the Virgin Lounge because I get free piss there.
I know. But that place is great. The food's good, the beer's good, but yes, go on.
Yeah. And so with Collingwood being sort of the main production brewery, trying to get more beer. I think it's the classic story, mate. Trying to get more beer out into the wholesale market, that being very capital intensive, and maybe there was just a need to raise more money, and that was how they saw the way forward. I think I read somewhere Steve Jeffers said he'd considered crowdfunding, and that wasn't really in the spirit of what they were sort of trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a really good match, to be fair. Good Drinks is a good match. It fits in with Steve Guy and JJ's ethos of keeping Stomping Ground independent. Gave them an injection of capital, gives them access to the Good Drinks production facility out in East Fremantle. So that they can scale up production if they choose to go that way. I think it's a good mix. For me, the people are always the story behind it. Steve Jeffers, Guy Greenstone, very, very, very talented business people in the industry. Had the local tap houses. And JJ, Justin Joyner, was formerly the venue manager for the local tap house in St Kilda.
Oh, the original.
I think he ran both, actually, right? And so he has a hospitality background. So and his involvement, in Stomping Ground and creating that amazing venue and the amazing venue experience you get at all of the Stomping Ground breweries, that's JJ. And I think the thing to watch from that and from the skill set that JJ has, you watch Good Drinks and their hospitality offering.
Well, I mean, their hospitality offering, to be fair, is pretty fucking spot on currently.
Who's that? Good Drinks?
Yeah.
Such as?
The Freo Gage Roads venue.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Printing money, $1.5 million a year in profit.
And
probably the best brew pub in the country.
Good fit.
Fit.
Atomic Beer Project in Redfern.
Haven't been there. I walked past. It looks cool, but I haven't been there. And then they got the one in the Sunny Coast as well, don't they? The Matzo's venue that they're
they're
doing.
And so I think all three of them are going to go work in the good drinks business.
Yeah.
And all three of them have some really good hospitality knowledge and that sort of thing. And you watch, I think some really good things are going to come out of that, not only for Stomping Ground, but for the good drinks business.
Agreed. Can I just say something about this post that Louis G's put in the live chat? He's put a YouTube in here for UB40 red wine.
Oh, I was going to do that.
That is unacceptable. Red wine.
I was going to do that.
Is a Neil Diamond song.
That is correct.
Put the Neil Diamond song in there.
From Hot August Night.
Bullshit UB40 rubbish.
Yeah. Have you listened to Hot August Night?
Dude, Hot August Night is my favorite.
That's a fucking sick album.
Crunchy canola at the start with the big build-up.
Yeah.
I put that on like regularly.
Is that your day song?
Dude, that's the song.
We call that a day song. When I was a tour guide, we call it a day song. It's the song that you start the day with.
Oh, I mean, I don't start every day. No. I start with Good Morning by Kanye West, especially if I need to wake the kids up. But that's like a late night. It's like, put on your favorite song. I'll put this song on that's so obnoxious. It goes for 10 minutes and doesn't even have words in it. And then it goes into the beat and I'm the only one who knows the words. That's it.
And he goes, I love that album. It's so good. I grew up on that. My parents used to play that like nearly every Saturday morning.
Yes.
And it was amazing. Had it on vinyl. My mum
nice.
threw all that shit out when my parents got divorced.
Oh, damn. Well, this episode's turned into a trip down memory lane for both of us.
It is.
All right. I 100% agree with you about the stomping. I'm not surprised at all by it. But so when I went down to Stomping Ground was only, let me think, last time was only a month ago when I went down with Simpo, who won't be spoken about ever again on this podcast because he was the one responsible for last week's field trip, which resulted in not the best content we've ever done, but also not the worst.
I need to go on a field trip with you.
All right, we'll do that. And I walked past Justin and I was with Simpo and I was like, that's the founder that I don't know. I know the other guys. I know who that is, but I've never met him. I don't know who he is. I mean, I don't know him.
Was that JJ?
JJ. And then I walked inside and I knew the brewer is the brewer's name Asher, the guy with the beard?
Asher, yeah.
Asher.
Yeah.
And I knew him, so I went and talked to him. And then Steve rocked up and I had a good chat to him because I haven't seen him forever. And then Guy rocked up, so I had a good chat to him. And
do you know the cool thing about Guy?
Everything's cool about. Oh, he's on buses.
He's on Coles.
Yeah. He's a proper actor.
Every year.
No, they're awesome. But the reason I'm not surprised is because the conversation, and I've talked to them a couple of times over the last 12 months or so. Nothing confidential, just normal general chat. And to me, it seemed like they really knew what they were really good at, which was doing these venues and building like a local brand.
Yes.
And the idea of taking that ridiculous, gigantic step to build a huge production brewery was just not particularly appealing to them. And then how do you get the money to do it?
Nor in their skill set. I would agree.
Nor in their skill set, yeah. So to me, it's such a good fit.
Exactly.
It seems perfect.
But when they built Stomping Ground in Collingwood, I'd spoken to I think Guy actually about it whilst they were still running the tap house, and there's this vision. What's the next thing we're going to do after Gabs, right? Because you think about Steve and Guy and JJ, local tap house, St Kilda local tap house in Darlinghurst, Gabs Festival. These are the people behind those things.
Yeah.
That everybody who loves beer in Australia knows and loves. Had this vision for a brew pub, and they set in, and it was a very ambitious program. They said, Steve said, we're going to build this brew pub in Collingwood. It's going to be 250 seats. We want it to be like a German beer hall. I specifically remember him saying that. We want it to be like a German beer hall, be kid friendly, be all these different things. And I went, that's not going to work. How the fuck are you going to afford to get some real estate in Collingwood to make that happen? They bloody did it, They did it. Bloody amazing.
There was another big, there was that big Little Creatures beer hall in Collingwood as well, wasn't there? Remember that one? Did you ever go to that?
Yeah, but that was on Brunswick Street. That was not, that's the Brunswick Social now. It was not even anywhere near the size.
It was pretty big.
Of Stompo.
It was pretty big. No?
No.
I remember going there like the first Gabs. I was like, holy shit, this place is awesome. But then it kind of disappeared. Wasn't part of their strategy or something, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, good on them. And, they got a bit of a payday. Some shares in good drinks and that sort of thing. And, their skills will get, integrated into the good drinks group. I think it's great.
I think it's good for good drinks too, because I think like 5 or 6 years ago, they came to was it the beeries, and they said, oh yeah, we're going to rename Gage Roads to Good Drinks. And I think everyone's sitting there thinking, I don't care, and this is a weird sponsorship, and this is just weird. And 6 or 7 years later, they're absolutely crushing it.
Yeah.
So fucking good on them, I reckon. And they're independent, which, like you said, that's a big part of it.
Yeah, that's great. It's a feel-good story.
I agree.
That's sure there's still money in breweries. I should still start a brewery.
Yeah, well, I mean, the amount is not massive compared to some other exits, that's for sure. But they continue to work in an independent brewery that's growing and still flying the flag, and that's a big plus too, I think.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. So this one, I didn't even see this at the time. This is a news.com article, which is not even new. Did you read this one? So news.com.
Yes, I did.
Inspired unemployed. And this is probably a more up-to-date version of this, because I looked at the date and this is almost a month ago. Inspired unemployed faces second day in court battle over better beer. Like, this is not journalism at all, is it? Like reporting on a month-old story, but we missed it.
Yeah.
And we don't know how to get
our radar.
An update on the...
We talk about the things that are on our radar, Dan.
How is this not in the beer? Like, there's gold in here. Did you read this? This is fascinating shit.
Yeah, it's pretty good. There's some good statements in there.
The Cogger one? That was great. Let me pull that one up.
Oh, we need to get him on. We kept getting him on.
Yeah, no, he called me and he was like, he was a little bit, he didn't seem super keen to come on, but I think he'll come on. But he didn't seem super keen.
Maybe he's waiting for this to wrap
would
up.
come on for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that would come on. Can I find this comment? This is... Where's this? Okay. No, where is it? Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay. So the argument in this article was that Brick Lane were a competitor and they were using them for inspiration. So they said, you did specifically regard Brick Lane as a competitor. Mr. Cogger said he didn't look at it as a competitive company, but more of an end product. Miss Beaumont, is the QC lawyer on the other side, continues to press Mr. Cogger. When you were developing Better Beer, you had your eye very square on Brick Lane, she said. He replied, we wanted to play against the incumbent mainstream products such as Furphy's and James Squire. We said there are probably only 3 players in that category and Brick Lane was one of them. Miss Beaumont took Mr. Cogger to another page of evidence that showed a briefing Mr. Cogger sent to a designer, which again listed Brick Lane in the competitive set. And then Mr. Cogger says, we pretty much say the whole market is our competitor. I wish we had more competitors, to be honest.
It's a pretty dumb thing to say to a...
Come on, that's funny.
It's funny as fuck. But, what are you going to say when you're on the stand and you're trying to defend yourself about why you potentially, why you've been, accused of copying another beer label and that sort of thing?
That's hilarious. But do you think, like, okay, all these designers are doing all the same shit. They're all looking at the same stuff.
Yes.
If he's just said this is one of our competitors, I mean, that's not even news at all. It's not
even basis for building a case.
No, I mean, like, even if, like,
I've
got stuff
some of the arguments are probably this. Well, the thing is, some of the arguments that are going to be had is the color palette, but for the cream background, is completely different.
Well, it's not.
The typeface is yes, it is.
The color is not completely different, Endo.
But for the cream background,
the color palette's exactly the same.
It's not exactly the same. There is no blue on a Better Beer label.
Yes, there is. What the fuck are you looking at? Look at this article, mate. Click the link I gave you.
One moment, madam.
You've lost your shit, mate.
There's no blue.
What are you looking
Black. It's like a dark blue. All right. The typeface is different.
All right. There's
And
curvy
the
yellow,
sidewinder
orange,
doesn't.
and blue.
The sidewinder doesn't
happening.
have day
Cream.
for it written on it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we need to follow this more closely because it seems like a fun court case. Good lessons.
Where was it being heard? Maybe we should go.
I actually tried to look this up. I was like, well, it's in a federal court. So I assume
which could be is probably Melbourne, I would say.
I assume Victoria. So I looked like what's on today and it wasn't on that list, but I'm not a journalist and I got bored and clicked onto TikTok and started watching videos, but I don't know. Someone will cover it and it's going to be interesting and fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
We should do a prediction. What do you think the prediction's going to be?
Dismissed.
Dismissed?
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my prediction.
Have we done a prediction already on that? Let me think. It looks pretty fucking similar. Okay, I'll say I'm with you. I'll say dismissed as well.
Yeah. Look, there might be some sort of little settlement that might happen, but I don't think we'll get to the point where there'll be an agreement reached, I would say, but I don't think we'll get to the point where a judge is going to make a ruling on it. There'll be a deal done first.
Yes. All right.
And probably it's going to be better beer who are going to have to put their hand in their pocket.
Yeah, well, they're the Brick Lane are the ones suing them, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, they
just
should
to make it go away.
Pretty deep pockets now. They're doing very well.
No, it's no money in beer, man.
That's true, but also they, I mean, if they can pay a QC to defend them against shit like this, like that's got to cost a bit of money, doesn't it? Like,
shit, yeah. Do you know how much they charge?
Crazy.
Yeah, nearly $1,000 an hour for a QC.
My God. Okay, I don't know. Thank God. Right, Indy's Peer Award nominations. I only put a link in here to the form, which I'll put in the show notes.
Yes.
But do you know much about this kind of activity here, mate?
Yeah. So there's usually the Young Gun Award, which is for someone in the industry who's made a contribution to the industry who's under the age of 35, if I remember. There is the what else is there?
Service to the Industry Award.
Service to the Industry Award, and which is basically someone who's spent a lifetime doing good stuff for the industry. An outstanding contribution to independent beer. The Young Gun of the Year, and the True Indie Supporter, which is awarded to a retailer, publican, or bar operator that strongly supports indie beer in store via advocacy, marketing, and or promotion.
Yep. Love that. And that indie support is important and it's increasingly rare. So if there are venues and whatnot that support it, then fill in that form. And the form will be in the show notes. So
yeah, absolutely.
Notes. So go to bossandthebrewer.com.
Vote for Dan.
No, too old. I assume you meant for Young Gun of the Year.
No.
Oh.
It's for your lifelong contribution to independent brewing in Australia.
Yeah, I don't know if people should vote for me, but I think the venue one's a good one to vote for because, like, you can kind of list on a couple of hands the venues that really.
Oh, and
really
retailers
support.
and stuff like that. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know Corey Crooks from the Grain Store in Newcastle's won it before.
100%. Yeah.
Who else has won it? Has Matty Emerson won it?
Has Feathers won it? He's always from
if Matty Emerson hasn't won it, he should win it.
He'd be a good one. Yeah, people like that. Yeah. Right. So Brendan Ash in the group said, put a link into cold chisel cheap wine. That's good. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I can handle that.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you for your contribution. All right. Zwanze Day. I know nothing about this, but I'm hoping you. Well, actually, I do know something about it because I know something about last year's one, which I can't tell you. But
Why?
you can tell me about this year's one.
Well, it's a Cantillon event, and so once a year, Cantillon release a beer called their Zwanze beer, and they do a different beer every year, and they release it simultaneously all around the world, usually around in September and that sort of thing. And it's only been in the last maybe 5 or 6 years that Australia's wound up with Zwanze beer. So this year it's going to be at, I think, Black Hearts and Sparrows, something like that, in Melbourne.
Nice.
It's a bottle shop. Fuck, is it going to be at a bottle shop? And also the Gilbert Street Hotel in Adelaide. And you know who I know would go, and not even having asked if he's going to go or not?
Give me a clue and I'll probably get it.
He's been on the show.
Oh.
Probably the most number of times we've had someone on the show.
Oh, Perko.
Perko.
Okay. Yes. That's fair. Would he travel interstate for it, though?
I think he does it every year.
Wow. No, but last year was in Brisbane.
Yeah, he travelled to that too.
No, he did? He lives in Brisbane.
Yeah. That's what yeah, Black Hearts and Sparrows is where it's going to be. That's a chain of bottle shops. How can it possibly be in a bottle shop? Anyway.
Well, I know it might be one of those bottle shops where you sit there and you have a beer while you're there. You know.
Yeah, it's probably the old slow beer or whatever it is.
Slow beer, yeah, that
slow
kind of
beer and all that
situation.
sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going.
Oh, you're going?
Yeah, Adelaide.
Oh, nice.
Now,
you're going just for that?
Right? Yeah.
Fucking hell.
That's
you're really committed to the game, aren't you?
But, well, the thing is that I did have a trip to Adelaide sort of, sometime in September sort of thing. And then I saw Zwanze Day was on and I went, oh, I'll just do it around that. Now, here's the go. Like, I was kind of giving myself a bit of stick the other day about how my choice of beer has just been getting narrower and narrower and narrower. And people who know me well know that I don't drink a lot of sour beer very often. But when I do, it's got to be really good. And Cantillon I will never say no to.
Okay.
And so Zwanze Day, I think this year it's for the benefit of gorillas. And I don't even know what this beer is. What is the beer?
Like the band?
This year's Zwanze beer is a 2-year-old lambic blend with black pepper. We worked with Sandrine from Missau, La Maison, La Poivreuse here in Brussels. So it's a pepper house, House of Peppers in Brussels. That's literally what it is. Missau, the House of Peppers. Tried various types of Congolese pepper, and we eventually decided on one called Poivre de Gorillas. So it's the gorilla pepper.
Okay.
And it grows wild in the forests of the Republic of Congo. Aromatic, but not too spicy. It blends beautifully with the refreshing acidity of our lambic. The result is a beer that will pair marvelously with meat or fish. I don't know if I'm going to be eating meat or fish with it. I know it's grand final day, and I'm going to be thinking beers.
Grand final day?
It's on grand final day. AFL.
Does that mean you don't get to watch the grand final?
It's at the Gilbert Street Hotel. The bloke who owns it is a nut for AFL. So
wow, okay. So you get two birds stoned at once.
So exactly. So basically, it's going to be drinking lambic, smashing a few lambics while I'm watching the footy.
Nice, and you're making money for the gorillas.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
That sounds fucking awesome.
You have to do a Zwanze Day, mate. The beer's rare as fuck.
Yeah, no, I know. I'll tell you a story about last year's one, but I can't do it on the air because it's fucking secret, which bugs me because I don't like having secrets. But
what did you do? What did you do?
Not telling you. I'll tell you after.
Okay.
Right.
Did you get fucked up?
No, I didn't go. All right. This one, end of the craft beer celebrity. This was a pretty fun post. I don't really know. No, I didn't really know anything about what this meant, but you sent it to me, and it was an interesting conversation. And I noticed in the comments that one of the people replied in one of the comments, which made it even more cool.
Mitch Steele.
Yeah. And the post was, so this is in a group called Craft Beer Professionals, which is not an Australian group. It's a national, a US group, I guess, or international group. Ed Irvin posted, something that hit me last night, but I've known for a while. Era of the craft beer celebrity is over and won't be back. Am I wrong? More in the comments.
Yes.
And there's lots of chat in there about the early pioneers of US craft beer and who they are now.
Yes.
And where we're at now.
Yeah. And Mitch Steele chimed in. And those who don't know, because of the fact that the craft beer cult of celebrity has fucking long since died.
I did not know who Mitch Steele was.
Didn't you?
I did not.
I know. I actually used Mitch Steele's name when I wrote one of the exams for the state TAFE students. They didn't know.
Yeah, I knew the Stone guy, the Dogfish Head guy, Brewdog guy. That was when I was getting into beer.
Yeah, Mitch Steele was the head brewer for Stone for quite a long time.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. I knew the Greg Cook. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's not a brewer.
No, but this wasn't about brewers, was it? It was craft beer celebrity.
Yeah, true. And so, it's very interesting. I remember, the start of my journey in craft beer and when I first became a professional craft brewer, and you watched Brewmasters, downloaded a copy of Brewmasters, which was a series on Discovery Channels, which had Sam Calagione from Dogfish Head. It had Leonardo Di Vincenzo from Birra del Borgo.
What about the guy from Rogue with the beard? Was he important?
Don't know.
The Rogue guy?
Don't know.
Don't know. Okay.
Mitch Steele, because everyone loved Stone beers at the time, even though we couldn't really get them, and the ones we did get were oxidized as fuck, but people still raved about them anyways.
Didn't know what oxidation was back then.
And no one knew. They just thought Stone equals hoppy, and that's what hoppy is supposed to taste like.
Yeah.
So Mitch Steele chimed in and he sort of said, times change. I never wanted to be a celebrity brewmaster. I just want to be part of a great team making great beer, earn my respect from peers and colleagues. And I think that this person, Ed, what his name, whoever posted that, I think he's bloody right. I think that the era of craft beer celebrity is all but over. Yeah. There are a few people that people know, and if they're a beer geek and that sort of thing, everyone knows, Joss from Garage Project. If you're a hardcore beer geek, Topher from Wildflower.
If you're listening to the Boss and the Brewer podcast, Hendo.
Yeah, Hendo. And that's there. I think it's becoming less and less, and I think that's a fucking good thing. Yeah.
Well, it makes sense that when these companies become more mainstream and less niche, that people consuming the product are not fanatics. They're just people who go to the bottle shop and want something nice. And so those people,
they're fanatics. At least it was when
my time. I'm saying it was fanatics.
Yes.
And now it's 15, 20% of the market. It's just every person going down to the local bottle shop wanting something nice. They don't really give a shit about the brewer. That they want
less so now. Less so now.
Yeah. I was obsessed with you when I used to drink brew cold.
Yeah. Whereas, but I think it was a good thing. I did. To be fair, I did like it when punters took an interest in not only what was in the beer, but who was making the beer and how it was made and that sort of thing. And there was a more deeper connection between the consumer and the brewer. I guess as time has gone on, it's been more about the beer and all the more extreme ingredients you can do with it, or a label you can do, or something like that really gets the pointy end of the beer market, all the beer geeks and stuff like that engaged. Less so than the people. But what do you got to do? At the end of the day, you got to sell beer, and there's only, you just got to do it. And Pinto says, "Am I scared of us?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am."
I think there's still a fair amount of respect for the people who make the product, and that's one of the best things about this industry is the people who make it get a lot of respect, which is great because that often doesn't happen in industries. But that comment that Mitch Steele made in there is pretty awesome.
Absolutely, it was good for him to chime in on that. I
You
liked it.
skimmed over it. I feel like maybe you should read the whole thing. How about you read the whole thing? Have you got it in front of you?
Yeah.
You read the whole thing.
Okay, so he says.
Wait, while you do that, I got to get this sponsored beer. Okay, so we're going to buy ourselves a bit of
I'll
time.
just read this fucking thing out then. What did he say? Times changed. Never wanted to be a celebrity brewmaster. I told this to my managers at Stone and at New Realm, which is the brewery he's at now. I just wanted to be part of a great team making great beer and earn the respect from my peers and colleagues for that. It still thrills me to see people enjoying my beer and enough folks still recognize me and come say hello that I don't feel at all hurt about a lot more beer drinkers these days who don't know or care about my history. I think I've built a solid legacy in this business. It's better than to burn out than fade away. I think fading away bit by bit as I get older is just fine. Respect the legacy and the roots of craft beer. Embrace the future or what beer can be. That's fucking spot on.
Yep. Legendary mic drop comment.
Yeah.
I thought
101 likes.
I know. I noticed that too. More likes than the original post, I think, or maybe
Yeah.
more likes than the original post had comments.
Yeah. It's 24 likes for the post, 101 for what Mitch
Yeah.
had to say. But he's
So-
right, and I that comment really resonates with me because it's like, yeah, just want to make good beer.
Yeah. Don't necessarily want to be a celebrity. Although your
Probably-
company is called Rockstar Brewer, so
I didn't name the business.
let me come back to that. Have you noticed on this beer? So this is Zeus, right? And this is why I didn't want to drink this early. It's fucking 9%. When you turn the can, the dude's eyes light up because it finds the reflection behind you.
Really?
Because it's got a gap in the eyes that goes
Yes.
through to the silver backing on the label.
Bit of a spot gloss polish.
That's fucking awesome. And he's in his little thunderbolt.
You need
lights
to
up. That's
you need
sick.
to talk to your label person about that shit.
Well, if we had a sponsor, we could, couldn't we?
I used to have a label guy when I had Brew Cult, in Melbourne, that sort of thing. He was so passionate about that sort of stuff,
Yeah,
You come up with a beer
I know
idea
how
and a
they've done
label.
that. I think it's cool. I just think it's very cool that they've done it with the eyes because it's noticeable because you always look at people's eyes, don't you? So that's
Yeah.
sick. Anyway, that's just. Why don't you get a photo of this, Hendo? Because we've got an actual sponsor here, mate.
Okay, hang on a second. Pin. All right, here I go.
Sideways, dude. Sideways.
That way.
Yeah.
All right, just flick your hair. I've
That
got
good?
another shit photo for you.
Fuck's sake, Hendo. You and your Android bullshit.
Look at that photo.
Dude, but oh my God, I look so bald. I've never looked more bald than that. All right.
What's wrong with that?
I'm going to try this beer. No, nothing. I'm going to turn into you by the end of this podcast series.
Bald.
Yeah.
Bald is good, mate.
I'm fine
Bald
with
is
being
good.
bald. I don't know.
Balding is hereditary. Bald is a choice.
Okay, that's fair. I'm fine with bald. Most of my favorite people are bald. Kelly Slater, Gary Ablett. No issue.
Yeah,
Hendo.
Yeah.
All right.
your favorite.
So this is canned. What are we at today? 24th of August. This was canned. Why don't you have? Am I the only one that's getting this, and you're getting excluded from the Helios sponsorship, or am I supposed to give you the beers?
Don't know.
I could give them to you. I got 4. I'm not going to drink 4 of these. They're fucking 9%. 17th. They're a week.
I think I might have some on the way.
Okay. I mean, when I said I'm not going to drink 4, I definitely will drink 4, but
Just
I'm
not
happy to
one
give you
sitting.
some. It's dark. It's thick. It's fresh.
Yeah.
I don't drink many 9% beers. You can tell from last week's podcast why.
The best.
It's good. Yeah. Thick.
What else have you got there on your bloody list?
All right. Wayward share scheme and IPO.
Yeah, IPO, eh? Here we go.
So the headline is employee share scheme paves way for Wayward IPO. So it's another brewery doing a ESOP, 4% of the business.
How much?
And then it mentions in here an IPO, but it says they have not even started looking at the IPO.
Man, that's a lot of hoops to jump through when you're IPO, isn't it? Way more than crowdfunding, hey?
Oh, dude, so much more than crowdfunding. There's no hoops in crowdfunding. What well, there's not much. With the Wayward, do you know much about them? Like they're quite small, aren't they?
Yeah, got a little brew pub in, what's the name of that suburb in inner western Sydney? Camperdown.
Camperdown. Okay.
And you can actually find their beers everywhere in all the majors and everything in Sydney. It's pretty good. I haven't had their beers in a while. You see them up here a bit, but
I never see.
actually you do. You see them in BWS.
Right. Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Isn't one of the 12 work at BWS or owns a BWS or something?
Yeah, Chislett. Yeah, ask him.
Yeah. Does he own a BWS?
No one owns a BWS. They're owned by Endeavour Group. But
oh right.
He works at one. Yeah, he works at the Benoit.
Yeah, well, there you go. Get him to fucking put one aside for you.
He tried to get me to. Yeah, all right. If it's fresh, and he tried to get me to stop in on my road trip, but it's busy road trip.
On the field trip.
Yeah, sorry, field trip. What am I talking about? Field trip. All right, so nothing to see here. It seems a little bit premature to start talking about an IPO.
ESOPs are a good thing. I think it's a great way to keep your staff, good for staff retention, and just being a good corporate citizen.
But why is it a good thing? If the way it works, like, okay, if you end up getting a massive exit and everyone gets paid, it's obviously great, right? But isn't it the same as every other situation, which is like, if you leave and have to sell the shares back to the company, you haven't been retained anyway, so it hasn't achieved its outcome. And you might have made a bit. Well, no, if it's supposed to retain you and you leave.
Yes, but you're going to be less likely to leave.
Why?
Like the Stone and Wood ESOP that they had was pretty good.
It was good because they got a massive exit, right?
No. Those who even came and went prior to the sellout still did well out of it.
Right, but that's just the same as paying people more, isn't it? They did well because when they left the company, like you're almost incentivizing them to leave. You get paid to leave. You have to sell your shares back to the company. You get a big payout.
Sure.
Right. So isn't that a bit counterproductive in incentivizing?
Well, then you get an even bigger payout if you stay.
Well, that's the thing. Do you like Wayward is saying, okay, we'll do an IPO and then you'll get a big payout. But like, how likely is it that Wayward are going to IPO?
I don't know.
I would say
New Belgium was 100% ESOP before it sold to Lion.
Right. Yeah.
100% ESOP. 100% of the business is owned by the employees.
Yeah, but does that mean?
Come on, man! This is like on the path to that. Those fucking dumb acronym things that you were talking about with DJ, with corporations and business decisions and all that sort of stuff. What were they called again?
What? I have no idea what that.
When we had DJ on the show.
Yeah.
Right. And then you're talking about NFTs and fucking all that dumb stuff.
Okay. Wow.
Right.
Wow. There's a lot of judgment in your voice.
Right, and then you started talking about blockchain. And then you started talking about how there's a way in the blockchain for businesses to make communal decisions.
Oh, potentially. Yeah. Potentially.
Yeah, what was that called again?
Oh, like DeFi? Like the decentralized finance or?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was an acronym though.
DeFi is an acronym. Anyway.
I thought it was more of a portmanteau.
Either way, it doesn't work unless you get a big exit at the end of the day, or if your company grows a lot, right?
Or you make a profit.
Yeah, but if you make a profit, you would have to pay dividends, and would employees get dividends and then get taxed on the dividends? Like that would be unlikely, I'd say.
Get taxed on the fucking capital gain anyway.
Yeah, but the way the ESOPs work is you don't they structure it in a way so it's like options, so you don't get taxed on the capital gain, and then you end up selling it back to the company when you leave. So you just get the growth in that time. It's a bit of a weird system. Like I'm not saying it's good or bad. I don't know. Like if it works, then sweet. But it's not quite as simple as everyone gets rich if you join the ESOP.
Yeah.
That's my only point. If you're Stone and Wood, that's awesome. But
yeah, happy days.
yeah, but there's not many Stone and Woods out there, are there? All right. Aurora profit increase. I only put this in here because like we don't use Aurora because we've got Visi up the road. So Aurora are a company that makes packaging,
cans and bottles and
everything,
jars and wine bottles and
yeah, and they actually do good stuff. Like I think their printing is a lot more sophisticated than Visi's. We have a lot of restrictions with Visi's, and if we want anything too crazy, we need to do labels. Aurora cans actually are pretty solid. But Visi is up the road from us and they do an awesome job and it's cheap and it's, reliable and there's lots of good reasons for using them. But anyway, the point of this article is that I didn't actually know much about Aurora, but they seem like they're a fucking massive company and they make a shitload of money. Did you know this?
Because, Aurora used to be called ACI? Something like that. It's a big American company.
Oh, okay. So revenue was up 15% to $4 billion. Net profit, $185 million, up 36%. Those are fucking big numbers, mate.
Amcor demerged its Australasia and packaging division into a separate company called Aurora.
So I guess I put this in here because there's a lot of businesses this year struggling, I think. It hasn't been the best year for craft beer.
Right.
But some people are doing very well. Obviously, good drinks are doing very well.
Yes.
These guys are doing very well.
Yeah, because you think that Aurora just do alcohol packaging, but they don't.
No.
They do food. If you buy food, your food comes in a jar or a can or a box. Aurora make it, mate.
And it's put there by a man in a factory downtown.
Yeah.
Someone put the YouTube for that in the live chat.
If I had my little way.
There we go. All right.
I think I've still got that on CD, that album.
Okay, don't say CD, but all right.
It's a CD. You don't like that acronym, mate? Well, should I say a compact disc?
Yep. Nice. That's good diction.
Cassette.
Compact disc.
Cassette.
All right. Well, that's the end of that story, but there you go. Some people are making lots of money and that's good. Good on them.
Can I get another glass of wine? I feel like another glass of wine.
Yes. Get another glass of wine because we're onto another story about more people making lots of money.
Everyone except us.
All right. Wait, let me just check in with the live chat. Oh my God. Nothing's happening. Scared of us. Someone put something into the live chat. Otherwise, what's the point of having a live chat?
Why aren't people posting stuff? And she must be shit posting.
Probably because there's only 5 people watching this live. I mean,
cool.
People have got shit to do on a Wednesday night.
That's all right. They're probably also listening to it in their car. Like Adam Shell. Not that one, the other one.
Endeavour Group pubs bounce back. So Endeavour Group, these are actually like pretty, I know like last year was shit, so it's kind of like this compared to last year, but Endeavour Group as a whole, $11.6 billion turnover, which is fucking insane. Profit, so EBIT increased 3% to $924 million, which is
that's pretty good.
Pretty fucking good. Almost $1 billion in profit.
Well, that's like 10% profit.
Exactly. Yeah. And the hotel segment delivered EBIT of $660 million. So 2/3 of that profit came from hotels.
Which pubs do they own? All the Woolies pubs.
Yeah, AL. They own like, what do they own? AL. They own ALH? No, what do they own?
Yeah, I think so.
I should
like
definitely know that.
Brunswick Hotel and that sort of thing.
All right. So EG's hotels business traded for 231 days in this financial year, compared to 195 in FY21. So traded for more days, but we had a shit summer. So yeah, They're still making money.
Maybe buy shares if this summer's going to be pretty good.
Is it though? Yeah.
Well, this is not financial advice.
It's not financial advice, but yeah, I think that's a pretty good result, and it shows that there's still businesses making money out there, and especially the hotel part of it. That's kind of encouraging because hospos struggled, and they can do it. Maybe everyone else can do it.
That's it.
What do you think?
Bloody oath.
Right, did you get your beer?
I got a wine.
Yeah, what sort of beer did you get?
Red one.
Okay. All right. Here's one for you, mate. Tracing, but wait, I actually added blockchain in here. I might have made that up. Was it blockchain or was it
supply chain?
How barley for beer is going to be traced along its supply chain from paddock to pint.
The supply slash scribbled out blockchain.
What was it, like QR codes or something?
Oh, QR codes. Okay, what have we got here? So what's the idea here? South Australian barley growers take part in a pilot project to trace their grain from paddock to pint following increased demand for place of origin labelling. Data recorded at each stage of the supply chain on the farm, transport to bottling. Prove exactly where the product has come from. All right.
So this came into our orbit because Craig put it into our group. Craig is one of the 12. Said we're tracing barley, but why?
Yeah, okay.
Now, I didn't read the article. I skipped to the end.
It looks like it's South Australian, and it's all going through the Cooper's Maltings in Adelaide.
Nice.
Oh, shit, I should go see that when I'm down the next month. Sick.
Slide into your mate's DMs. Tim Cooper. Dr. Tim.
Dr. Tim. G'day, Hendo.
Yeah, slide into his DMs.
Thanks for coming to the brewery.
Well, there you go. He's a craft beer celebrity, isn't he?
It's for me. Okay, you can scan a QR code on the packaging and end users will be able to see the touch points at each stage of processing. I can see for some people, this would float their boat, but people have become so detached from their food, most people aren't really going to care.
What about this one? This at the end, it says biosecurity benefits. It says the only way to get back to the sources of what is happening in biosecurity and being able to respond quickly, even in plants, is by tracing it.
Of course.
So is that saying if like someone injects some barley with some bad shit that'll kill the population, you'll be able to trace it back?
Your brewery does that already, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
It's common GMP, good manufacturing process, is that whenever you make something in a factory, that you note down the lot. The batch number
you can trace this from the drink they had back to, I don't know, the original fucking grain field or something, right?
You can pretty much do that anyways. You can scan a QR code on a Wyman bag and know the farm that it pretty well came from and that sort of thing, or the region that it came from.
Region, yeah.
But I guess it extends it downstream to the consumer touch point, so they can scan.
We can have absolute certainty this is coming from a certain region. Yeah.
Oh, it's interesting, but a lot of people just don't care.
Well, you're a proponent of traceability. I thought you would like this kind of activity.
It's food safety. It's not fun. It's work. It's like just what you do to look after consumers. It's common sense.
So, okay, I get it. So it's a safety thing. It's a
food safety thing. Like if something happened to go wrong with some raw material, okay, let's put it in your brewery, right? Let's say you had a recall, right? Another recall on your books, right?
Yeah.
And you have, say, one of the malt suppliers says, oh, this batch of pale malt, you've had truckloads and truckloads go through your silo, right, into a whole bunch of different brands of batches of beer.
Yeah.
And they say, you've got to recall all the beer that was made with that batch. Could you do it?
It'd be very difficult with the silo.
No, you can do it with the silo.
You could do it. You could do it with a reasonable amount of certainty. You couldn't do it with absolute certainty.
Yeah. But, you get my point.
Yeah.
And, that's just what you do. It's just like, that's how you look after your consumers, is that if something goes wrong, you should be able to pinpoint where that product's from. Next thing you need to do is you need to, and I think this is compulsory in New Zealand, actually. You have to be able to trace your batch code of the product to where you sell it.
Yes. Yeah. So you need to either be scanning certain batches of beer onto trucks, or
and then making sure that invoice is for that batch of Black Hops Pale that goes to such and such a bottle shop.
And all this stuff is actually pretty time consuming, pretty expensive, pretty difficult. That's part of the reason why, like, I think a lot of these, like we had the story about Stomping Ground, it just makes a lot of sense for them to sell to an indie company that probably has all of this shit sorted. They can give them extra brewing capacity. They've got all of that stuff in place. They don't even worry about the distribution, the tracking, any of that stuff. Like this shit is expensive, and it doesn't really make sense for 700 different companies to be figuring this out around the country.
Yeah.
All right. You want to get into 12 questions? Because
bloody oath.
Did you see how much effort I put into the screenshot here from Dave Lavin, who slid into our DMs?
Oh, did he?
Dude,
I didn't see that.
Have a look at the show notes. Scroll down. This was about 6 days ago, and I screenshotted all of his 4 messages and put in there.
Oh,
it was
that?
just
Big Dons.
Just some dude raging on about festivals and how unfair they are.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the 50% cut in festivals sort of thing.
Yeah, so Dave Lavin, topic for next week, profitability of attending big beer festivals.
Yes.
Taking this one offline so as to not call out this food vendor having a public rant, but this made my ears prick up. Okay, we better not read them out. Well, you don't call out if it's public. I'm calling them out. It's public.
Bloody oath.
All right, this is
Archie's
so Hot Chicken having a rant, tagging Big Don's meat about festivals, saying they're shit. They take 50%.
Take 50% and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. They're making money. They're getting rich off festivals and we're not.
No, they're not. But
no, they're not.
Yeah, absolutely not. If you go to a festival, whether it's a music festival or a beer festival or something like that, you notice that the drinks and the foods the prices are much more expensive than what you would normally pay and that sort of thing. And the reason is that the festival organizer takes a pretty sizable cut. Pretty standard practice is 50% of what you hand over at the bar goes to the festival organizer, and the remaining 50% goes to the brewery or the food vendor. And out of that 50%, they've got to go and make the beer, bring it there, hire staff, hire the space, because you just have to pay for that on top of that as well. Look, lots of breweries, I'll stick to beer because that's what I know, or I'm alleged to know. Lots of breweries over the years have complained about that sort of thing, like taking 50% cut. We don't make any money. Well, if you go to a beer, if you set up a brewery stand at a beer festival, you're not there to make money. It's called a brand activation, and it's a reason for you to get touchy-feely with your consumers directly and expose people who otherwise would not have seen your beer to try your beer, so that you can have that conversation with them. Oh, did you like that beer? Yeah, great. Oh, good. Where do you live? Oh, I live here. Okay, there's a bottle shop over there. You can go buy it. Go fucking buy it. Right? That's brand activation.
Yeah.
And so, I just don't think you can complain. And if you want to have a complaint about festivals taking a 50% off the top, don't go.
100%.
Don't be a brewery. Don't be a food vendor. And if you don't like the price of the food or the drink at the festival, don't go.
Yeah, I agree. I think that point is the biggest one, which is like, if it's just a normal business deal and they don't have any kind of monopolistic power over you or anything like that, and they're not taking the piss and they're just offering you a deal, turn up to this festival, and pay whatever the percentage, whether it's 50 or 25 or 75 or whatever it is, or don't come to the festival, then just don't go.
Yeah, no one's forcing you to go.
And yeah, no one's making money from festivals. And the people who put these festivals on, like, I fucking hope they make money. I want them to make money because, like, these are really, really important things in our community. Crafted Festival's coming up this weekend. It's the biggest festival. It's almost the only festival for beer on the Gold Coast. It's massive. It's been amazing every year. It's been huge for our community. They do a massive thing for locals, like a locals alley. That part of the festival just cranks all day. It's a phenomenal festival. I fucking hope those guys make money because, Matt, can you imagine putting on a festival?
The work that goes into the expense, the money.
Fuck that.
Think about the money it would take to go into that, to set up that space, even though it's at Curra.
But it's not just that money. Like, this is a massive outdoor festival during COVID. And during this ridiculous fucking weather we've had this year. Like, if you get bad weather at a massive outdoor Gold Coast festival, you're fucked.
Game over.
Like the smoked meats festival we had the other week, a month ago, it's got completely cancelled. What the fuck do these guys do when their entire thing they work on for a year gets cancelled? It's insane.
Probably tear their hair out.
Dude, that is some proper stress. Running a festival is like proper stress.
Yeah, no way I would do that.
No way either. All right, we have some questions.
How many?
Probably 12, I'd say. Oh, 6. And that's according to who was it the other week who said 6 was a multiple of 12?
12, yeah, of course.
Right. And now I haven't looked at these, so you got to remember, consider that. Okay, Luke Cooper says question : and then he said : again in letters. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Should all dry hop flannel wearing male brewers have facial hair to be taken seriously?
No.
Should all dry hop wearing? Oh, I feel like the facial hair thing is just not really a thing. You don't need a beard
it's optional.
anymore. Yeah,
I didn't used to have facial hair until a couple of years ago.
Yes, no, you didn't. Yeah, no, you were bald all over.
It was a shaven maven.
You're a shaven maven. And now you're a slightly more sophisticated looking version of your former self.
I'm like the fucking George Clooney of craft beer.
I'm not sure I would. I'm not. I think George is quite famous for his head of hair, the grey sort of.
I got grey.
You're like the upside down George Clooney of craft beer. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. George Clooney, craft beer.
That's me. All right. Now, that is a good topic, though, the flano topic. Why don't we get into that? Because
we've got so we've done, so we've now narrowed down what 3 colours are. Okay. So red, dry hopping, the dark blue and green that Smokey was wearing at the Helios Invitational, that has been deemed to be the yeast wrangling.
Yeast wrangling, yes. Now, but this is just deemed via a poll in the group.
Poll in the group, yeah. Of
you're
course.
making all of these decisions based on a poll.
Exactly, but if you're listening to this podcast and you're wondering how do I vote in this poll, head to facebook.com/groups/Boston the Brewer, and you will find the poll there. Now, where is
it's the blue and black Pennywise is the one you're
the blue and black Pennywise, of course.
I'll hit you with a link. I just put the link in Zoom. Have a little look-see.
Right. Oh, here we go. Found it. Thank you. It's neck and neck for canning and kegging.
Yes. Okay.
Maybe we should just call it packaging. And that's the color for packaging.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because they're kind of the same thing, and that seems to be a very heavy
they're not really. I don't know. I reckon the canning guys who operate the canning line might disagree that you can group it together, but
yeah,
they're different. I like the idea of keeping, and we could have a neck and neck battle.
I like it. It's pretty bloody close. We'll keep that open for another sort of 24 hours.
I thought I voted for canning, but it says my vote is kegging.
How do you know what your vote is?
Because I voted. I voted the shit out of this. Pennywise.
Oh, I can
Blue
see who.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see who voted for what. Ooh,
34
that's interesting.
votes. Well, that Pennywise by Dixon guy is definitely a craft beer guy with his big
Absolutely.
beard. Old school craft beer guy.
Anyway, so that's neck and neck. We'll keep that open for another 24 hours or so. And close this poll. I don't know.
Why have you limited the back office, or not even back office, the other part of the business to just accounts?
Anything that's not making beer, mate, is accounts.
No, that's not true. There's a lot that goes into beer. There's
Such
so
as?
many different things.
Give me an example.
Hang on, I've got an emergency. Just wait 1 second. 1 second. Fuck, I hope no one heard that.
I didn't hear it.
All right, good.
One of the children spew.
Sales.
That's counts.
Okay. Marketing.
Counts.
Wow.
HR?
Wait, hang on. What about
HR?
room? Tap room.
Accounts.
Tap room is accounts?
Is put money in the till. Accounts.
Fuck. And HR is obviously accounts as well.
Of course.
Safety. Careful, Hendo.
Okay. Not so much.
The right answer was safety is the job of every person who works in the business.
Does Dixon have a high vis flano?
Well, there we go. There we go.
That would be your safety flano.
That could be HR and safety, I feel like. People, culture, and safety.
Yes. And accounts.
And fucking account. Accounts got 2% of the vote, by the way, like the worst.
There is a color for accounts. We're going to find out what it is. So let's see. Anyway, we'll let that one go for another 24 hours. Then I'll eliminate the top one, put another color up, and just keep the ones that are left. And eventually we'll find out which is going to be the color for centrifuge.
Sounds good. All right, question number 2 from Luke Cooper. Luke Cooper is quite a dedicated question asker, which is good. And the second question, he's got question colon, but he doesn't write the word colon. He just has the colon, which makes me think this question is not going to be as good as the last question.
Yep.
New master brewer advertised for Helios. What did the other Adam Shell start? Question mark. And then Adam Shell replied, not me, the other one. I have no idea what this is about.
Looks like Helios are applying for a head brewer, advertising for a head brewer.
Oh, okay. There you go. But not Adam Shell.
Not Adam Shell. You should apply.
Dude, look at this.
Just dry hopping.
Just dry hopping. Dry hopping only. I don't even know what flannel to wear.
The accounts one. We can't wait to find out what color accounts is going to be, mate. I'm buying you one.
Dude, no one is responding to it. Accounts. It's 2%. You got any comments?
There is a color for
no?
it. We're going to fucking find it though.
Well, what about? I've got a nice black ops flannel that's like black and grey. It's fancy. It's kind of what I wear when I go to the office. Like, would that qualify as accounts?
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
We don't have a say in this.
No.
All right, that's fair. Okay. Do you have a comment on this one or no?
It's up to the 12.
No, the fucking Helios thing. All right. Okay. We're moving
on.
On.
Look, so Charlie's moving on.
All right.
It's just how it is.
That is how it is. Constant rotation of staff.
Did you hire him?
Charlie?
Yeah.
No, I have no idea. I don't like talk to Charlie. I know who he is and he's fucking cool, but no.
There you go.
Do you know where he's going or where he's going?
I have no idea. No, I only found that out today. I was like, no.
Me too. I didn't even know that advertised, but yeah, very fucking
happens all the time.
Very
what I don't want of this show or out there and that sort of thing is that to create scandal or controversy around people's career moves and career choices. It's just a job.
Yeah, 100%.
And Charlie, clearly it looks like he's going to be leaving. Well, that's his fucking prerogative, and that's his business. It's none of our business.
Yeah, you can't do something forever. He's been there a long time too. Like
been there since the start.
Yeah, but like that was when was it? That was like 2016 or something, was it? Or
something like that. 5 or 6 years, yeah, something like
a
that.
while ago. I wonder if it's written on the can.
And so yeah, I don't want to make that's his business, none of our business.
Yeah. This happens all the time. It's staff are moving around a lot. It's a it's a pretty difficult industry, but also it's just can't do the same thing
Speaking
forever.
of staff, I'm hiring at the moment.
Yes, I saw that on LinkedIn. I liked it.
So thank you. So if you are a Melbourne-based brewer who has permission to work in Australia and you would like to spend a year being mentored by yours truly, and run a small brew pub down in Dandenong, hit me up and come and work at Brownstone. It's a good little brewery. You will need to have another job, another form of income, because there's only one fermenter there and the hours can be very sporadic. But yeah.
This is an ABA winning brewery, isn't it?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, good beers.
Should we get a little thing going in the 12 to spread the love, to share the post, or is that not necessary?
I'll post that later. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
Applications close at the end of the month.
All right. And by the way, I haven't read these questions beforehand, so if they're fucked up and weird, it's not my fault. Okay, I'd say that every time. Right. Darren Gittins, question : with no letters, just the colon. Do breweries make much money out of attending festivals? Okay, we talked about that, Gabs.
We talked about that.
With the cost of having the stall, staffing, travel, and accommodation, is there a profit in the end? Definitely not.
No.
Or was it more about building? Yeah, I know where. I will
brand
say
activation.
And breweries, it's very rare for like most of the breweries that you know and like and love to really know their numbers so well that they would even know if they went to a festival and actually made money. Like the numbers you quote where it's like 50%, it's like, okay, they get 50, I get 50. But you need to be very, very confident how much it costs you to make the beer and to have the staff there and to do all the cleanup and the depreciation on equipment and all of that. Like no one knows the numbers that well unless they're a very big company.
That's right.
I will say, with a shout out to Crafted, that it's happening this weekend, which probably should have been a news item because it's massive for the Gold Coast.
I didn't get a ticket.
They are the best that we do by a very long way in terms of financially doing well and for the brand doing well. We've done a beer with the headline act, British India. Every year we do it. We do really well. We've got a big lineup. The beer goes well. The accountants would have to say if you actually make money doing it, but that one deserves a shout as being an absolute standout, at least for us. And maybe every state has one of those, or every city has one of those. Crafted for us is definitely the one.
Yeah, good. I still yet to go. Should go.
Well, you definitely.
I can't make it this weekend. I'm going to be working on the scooter.
Dude, that's the shittiest excuse ever. Drive your
I've got two of them now. Got two now. Did I show you a photo of the pink scooter?
Are you about to right now?
Yeah, fucking no. Can you let me share screen? I'll show you a photo of the pink scooter. Come on, man. Come on, let me show you a photo of the pink scooter. I'll put it on for the thing.
How did it make host? Wait.
No. All you got to do is go security and then go allow participants to share screen.
No, you should be able to. All right, give it a go. Show me your mighty boy.
There you go. That's my sister and her pink scooter.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's fucking great, isn't it?
That's cool. Yeah,
and fucking starts. It's got a little kickstart.
Did she put that shirt on just for the photo? Obviously, just for the photo.
Well, this is last Saturday when we went to go pick it up, and she was really excited because we were getting her a pink scooter, and I hired a trailer. We drove out Ipswich to go pick it up, and she just happened to be wearing pink.
No,
there you go.
She happened to be wearing that shirt?
She happened to be wearing that shirt. I'm not joking.
That's literally exactly the same color as the scooter.
It is the same color as the scooter. Anyway, so I'm going to put a V8 in it and then give it to her, and she'll be right.
Oh my God.
I need to put the mirrors on it. Needs a new front tire and a new battery and headlight bulb.
That's amazing.
That's it.
I've got someone currently typing a comment in our 12 questions thread in the group. Live. Okay. Oh, no, actually, we've got one more comment. And if the person typing asks another one, we'll ask that. Otherwise, you're almost finished your wine. So Daniel Pinto. How the industry is keeping salaries and wages lined up with the latest increase in cost of living and interest rates. What are the strategies out there? Some breweries are offering hourly rates that are lower than 18-year-old trolley collector at Bunnings. Fucking hell. How does that work?
Some breweries are offering low wages.
Some breweries, well, first part of the question, how's it working offering all the wages? It's very fucking hard. I think we've talked about that enough.
Absolutely.
Some breweries are offering hourly rates that are lower than 18-year-old trolley collector at Bunnings. I mean,
don't work for them.
Well, I mean, like in Australia, it's a pretty fucking heavily regulated economy. Like breweries can't really.
Can't just make that.
Breweries are trying to employ people for less than awards.
You can't get away with it.
You can't
it's
do
not
it.
Possible.
You can't do it, and you wouldn't do it because your reputation would be destroyed. If they're offering the award rate, then like you said, if you don't want the award, then don't work for them.
Don't work for them.
Yeah. Oh no, okay. One more question. I'm forced to read this because I said if the question comes up.
Okay, go on.
When I'm typing. Question from Stephen Kegel. You motherfucker. Is this? He must be live. Where is this guy live? I'm going to find the live thing. How do you know who's watching this?
I can see.
I can't see that. How do you see?
Stephen Kegel has posted a comment in the live.
Accounts. Oh, okay. Okay. His comment is good.
Yeah, I like it.
Accounts black unless you're in the red. That's a good comment. Anyway, that's not his question. Question, did Dan listen to last week's field trip episode?
Oh, did you?
I did.
Did you cringe?
Well, so I listened to the whole thing, right? The first like 5 minutes was me telling you about my field trip. And the rest of it wasn't too bad. It wasn't amazing.
The first 5 minutes was you telling us about the field trip, and the other 55 was you trying to wrap up the show.
Pretty much. I was getting tired, and I was like, it's been a long day, dude.
I still can't listen to the field trip episode for me.
No, yours is a lot worse than mine. A lot worse.
Yeah. That's because I don't remember it. Did you remember the last week's episode?
Yeah. Well, dude,
Then you weren't field tripped enough.
Normally the night of, I do all the work and put it up and send it up live, but I had to do it the next day, so I had to listen to it back. And I didn't think it was too bad. But we need to plan a field trip either with just you and me,
yes,
or with you, me, and the 12,
and
then we'll do a double field trip, and that could be chaos. I don't know.
Grodziski launch.
Yes, okay, yes, and next week we'll have an update.
We're gonna have an update
on the Grodziski launch. And on that note. Love your work, mate.
See you next week.
See you next week, legends.